Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, the 5th of July. It's very nice to see you this morning and lovely to have our Key Stage 1 and Early Years Bubble back again this week. After a week of remote learning, it has been far too quiet in school without you all, but I have been looking at Twitter and have been in contact with your teachers who are very, very proud of those of you that were doing your remote learning every day and sending in your work. So really well done, but it is lovely to have you back. Now, I am just going to share my screen. Here we go. Okay, so now, following our weekend, a very successful weekend, my assembly is going to have a particular theme. I wonder if you can guess before I get to the slide. So, as you're aware, our core value at the moment is resilience. And amongst other definitions, it's one of those values that has a number of definitions. And this is the one I'm going to focus on today. It's the ability to deal with challenges while still holding your head up. So keeping on. So just, when things get a bit hard, when you're a little bit worried about things, when things are changing, and this is the time of year when we are all starting to look towards sort of September and what that might mean for us, and whether you are moving on to a new school or whether you are moving up to your next class, it can be a time where, change can bring a little bit of worry. So that's completely understandable and very normal. And it's really important, again, to be resilient in those times so that although we all have to meet these challenges, we can do them and keep going and keep holding our head up and keep coming to school every day and keep smiling. And that's the important thing, because that will all help us get through the more difficult times. So again, as a reminder, resilience can be bouncing back after difficult times, the ability to cope when things go wrong as well. And this comes up in my assembly a little bit later on, giving new things a go or trying your best and being strong on the inside. And what has been lovely is that I've seen a few of you have come and spoken to me about your invisibility, your resilience cloaks, your resilient capes that you were wearing. Some of you put them on just before you ran your races on the starting line for Key Stage 2 last week as well, which was great to see. Now, talking of our sports days, Key Stage 2, we had two sports afternoons last week, one with 4 and 6 on Wednesday and another one with 3 and 5 on Friday, and they were such great fun. So I've just got a couple of pictures. So teachers, if you've got some great pictures, can you send them to me as well? And Mrs. Paul, we would love to see them. So congratulations to everyone in Key Stage 2 for all your effort and resilience in our sports afternoons each week. Now, there's some photos here of our year 4s doing the skipping race and our obstacle race. Honestly, those space hoppers were so tricky. And we've got our relay race runners there. Look at that action shot. It was such a great afternoon, and congratulations to everyone that took part. And we're looking forward to our early years and Key Stage 1 sports afternoon on the 16th of July. So that's not this Friday, that's next Friday. So we look forward to that. Now, I'm sure all of you, well, a lot of you, maybe not all of you, may have watched some football over the weekend. And I certainly watched the England match on Saturday evening with my family at home, and was so pleased to see that we won. We beat Ukraine by 4-0, which was fantastic. Now, partly because it wasn't necessarily expected, but I thought England played really, really well. Now, one of the players I thought that stood out was this man, Raheem Sterling. And it made me want to find out a little bit more about him over the weekend, because it seemed that he and Harry Kane were working their socks off during that game and supporting each other and helping to set up a lot of the goals, amongst many of the other players. But this was Raheem Sterling was someone that I took note of. Now, so I thought I'd find out a bit more about him. And quite, well, I thought he would have had an interesting life, and in fact he has. So despite still being quite young, he was born in 1994 and is an English professional footballer. He has played for a number of Premier League clubs, including Manchester City, which is his current club, and he has played a number of games for England. But Raheem was born in Jamaica, in Mavali, which is a district of Kingston, Jamaica. So I've just circled it on the map. So Jamaica is an island in the Caribbean Sea, and some of you may have family or friends that live there. So he lived there for the first part of his life. Now, this is a picture of Raheem's mum. Now, when I read this, I thought, that's interesting. So she was an athlete herself. She was a competitive athlete in the Jamaican national athletics team. She was a runner, and a very, very good runner. And so I don't know what influence that had on his life, but obviously he comes from a sporting family. Sadly, Raheem's father died when he was very, very young. He was only 2 when his dad died. So he didn't really know his dad growing up, so was brought up predominantly by his mum. Now, at the age of 5, Raheem moved from Kingston, Jamaica, to London. He moved to Neadston, and this is the school that he attended, which was Copeland School in Wembley, not too far away from us. And not only did he attend that school, he struggled a bit at school, and also attended a specialist school called Vernon House for 3 years because he struggled to concentrate in class. And so he was sent there for 3 years as well. So he didn't have a very smooth ride while he was at school. Here is a picture of him in his PE kit. I think he looks quite young now. I don't know if that is when he was about 10. So he spent 4 years playing in his local team, which was called Alpha and Omega, before he was spotted and signed up for Queen's Park Rangers at age 10. So a lot of the Premier League football teams and teams in lower leagues, they have sort of youth teams as well. And following on from his time at Queen's Park Rangers, he was then scouted by several other kind of huge teams across the country, including Arsenal, Chelsea, Fulham, Liverpool, and Manchester City. Now, his mum decided that in order to get him away from London for a little while, she was worried about the influence of some of the people at where he lived, that she thought that the best thing for her son was to move him to Liverpool. So that's where he went. And he joined Liverpool Football Club in 2010, which is a huge football club. I'm sure we've got some Liverpool fans here. From Liverpool, he then was signed in 2015 to Manchester City. And at that time, he was signed for a fee that made him the most expensive English player of all time. So there is a lot of money in football, as I'm sure some of you are aware, but it was millions and millions of pounds. And so, people obviously spotted his potential even then and were willing to pay a huge amount of money for him. Now, he made his senior team debut for England in 2012. So, 9 years ago, he made his debut. And I thought you might want to see his goals so far. Now, I'm not sure if the ones that we saw at the weekend have been added to this montage, but let's have a look at why he has been so successful so far.
Big chance for England. Sterling is there again. You cannot underplay the magnitude of that goal. Two to aim at, one of them is Sterling. 3-0. Just before the hour mark. It's Jamie Vardy. It's Raheem Sterling. It's 2-0. Now Rashford, Sterling through the middle. No flag. Raheem Sterling! The long wait is over. It's his first ever England away goal. It's another one for Sterling. No offside. It's a Monday night masterclass for Gareth Southgate. Now it's a great ball by Kane Sancho. And the opening goal is Raheem Sterling's. A bit of patience. Well, it might run for Sterling anyway. Raheem Sterling. It certainly suits England. A second for Sterling on the night. Raheem Sterling on a hat-trick. Oh, it's deflected. It is 4 for England. It is Sterling's night. Henderson. He's got Sterling in here. It's Raheem Sterling. It's 5 for England. An inevitable goal for Raheem Sterling. Last Stoichkov
on the charge. He's got Kane with him. Kane, Sterling, it's 3.
Keane with the header. And not it in! It's Raheem Sterling. Well, it didn't take England long. On towards Kane, and pulled in for Sterling, and England have 4. Beautifully executed. Great. Played into Sterling. Great control, great goal. Expertly taken by Raheem Sterling. Beautifully worked by England. Here goes Sterling. And he rolls it in. And England will surely win in Reykjavik here. It's been a struggle. Sterling. England in again. Sterling finally gets one in. And it's number 3 for England. Oh, Phillips feeding Sterling. Sterling! England's first goal of the European Championships. He's the Czech defence. Does that. And it's headed in by Raheem Sterling, and England lead. Finally, England fans have something to... Then on to Shaw. Big chance for England. Sterling is there again! You cannot underplay the
Okay, so let me just put my face back up. Isn't that exciting? So yeah, I am very, very excited about watching on Wednesday as well. So let's move on. Now, not only has he played for England a huge number of times already as a young man and been very, very successful, scored lots of goals for this country. He was also appointed a member of the Order of the British Empire, MBE, in the 2021 birthday honours because of his services to racial equality in sport. So as well as using his talents on the football field, he's also become quite outspoken to promote racial equality in the UK. So he's using his platform as a voice to improve the situation for the younger generation, for people of your generation as well. So he is an extremely busy person and a great role model, I feel, for us all. And this is something that he said. He obviously gets quite a lot of attention now, but that wasn't always the case. I imagine if you went and spoke to him when he first moved to Wembley, those years ago when he was a child in his secondary school, and you were to say to him, you know, one day you will be an England player, one day you will have a voice and people will listen to you, one day you will be on posters and people will quote things that you have said. This is one of his statements. It says, speaking up doesn't always make life easier, but easy never changed anything. And I think in order to be able to speak up, to be able to say what is right, to be able to improve things for others, everyone, you do have to have some resilience, quite a lot of resilience. And it doesn't just come, it builds day by day over time, as we can see. Okay, well, that is the end of my assembly. I just want you to spend a couple of minutes now thinking, what is your dream? Where do you want to be when you are when you are a grown-up? What would you love to do? And what small step can you get today towards that dream? Because as we can see, it happens not overnight, but over time. But every decision that we make has to send us closer to that dream. I love this quote. So we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. So everything that we practice every day is very important, and we can choose whether to practice excellence or not. And if we practice it enough, then it becomes a habit. So all of those goals that we have just seen, they don't happen by chance. None of those players just turn up for the matches. They practice for hours and hours every single day, doing those passes again and again and again. Those formations are repeated again and again and again, so that when we see them, they look natural and flowing, but actually there are hours and hours and hours of work behind them, and they have been practiced so much that they have become a habit. And I think that's a really good message for us all. So have a good day, everybody. I also just want to let you know that we have some more special visitors coming this week. So they will be joining us on Wednesday afternoon, but they will be in school all day Thursday and on Friday morning. And they are here from other schools across the country to come and have a look at Forest. We are very, very lucky that they're coming to see what great things we are doing here. So please do speak to them if they come into your classroom. They would probably want to ask you about your learning, what you think about our school, what you think about our behaviour at school as well. So please do have a chat with them. We have fantastic ambassadors in all of our children here, and we look forward to sharing all the great things that we do at Forest with those people that are coming this week. So have a great week, everyone. Make sure you put your resilience capes on, and I will see you later in the day. Bye-bye.